Hey everybody, I'm Dwayne Marino, and today's Saturday tip is going to be on something I call the 6 Ps. I want you to write down these 6 words: principles, practices, psychology, patterns, predictable, and probability. I want to go through these things. My 4 passions, my 4 interests in life is health, wealth, happiness, and sales. And you have tons of information coming at you here in this Facebook group in the next few months in those areas. And I filter everything in my life that's important through these 6 Ps. And I think these 6 Ps really need to be written down and analyzed on a regular basis. Okay, the first one is principles. There's certain principles in selling I don't see changing anytime soon. And those 4 principles are attitude. You've got to maintain a great attitude. I've got an entire book on this called Unstoppable Attitude. I'm going to give you some of my hottest ideas on how to make sure you can brush your brains the same way you brush your teeth every day and keep that mind and that nervous system of yours, your emotional system, clean, pumped up, and ready to go. The second principle of selling is lead generation. My good friend Joe Girard passed away a few months ago, and he was a master in his era, but all the great salespeople today, all of them are masters at lead generation. It really is the difference between being a closer and being a loser. I'm going to give you some great tips on how to lead generate today, with smartphones being the predominant way to do that. Lead generation is everything to sell, set appointments, create market awareness, and get into people's pipelines and get in their heart. Mind share always precedes wallet share. If you're not in people's minds and hearts, you're not get their wallet on mass. So I'm going to go through some awesome lead generation strategies. How's your lead gen doing today? The next one is test drives. I know I've sold some cars, and so have you, without test drives. But test drives are where selection is finalized, where value is built, where the excitement is, created so we can make some money. Test drives are fundamental. Now, I know some people might buy a vehicle without driving. Nobody buys a vehicle without verifying how much it is. You've got to be doing proposals. That's the 4th one. For some reason, salespeople aren't really into doing test drives with everybody. Call it laziness or stupidity or whatever, I don't know. And management sometimes aren't into doing proposals for everybody. Listen, if you're not doing proposals, if you're not doing test drives, if you're not doing lead gen, if you don't have a great attitude, what the fuck are you doing? Because that's the only 4 things you got to worry about in sales. That's like gravity. You throw a pen up in the air, it's going to drop. There's your 4 principles. Next one is practices. Nokia and BlackBerry owned the smartphone and cellular phone businesses, but they didn't adapt. Because they didn't adapt, they died out of those market segments. If you don't evolve, you're going to dissolve. The trend is your friend. You got to know where the market is going, at least stay with it. If you can stay ahead of it, that makes you a genius. But at least stay with the market, but being behind it isn't good. So stay with things, keep up with your practices, and study and read a little bit every day. Read a chapter of a book every day, watch a YouTube video every day, study. There's salespeople in your showroom. They're doing a great job with whatever they're doing, but you've got to stay current. The next one is psychology. It's my passion. Psychology is about reading and managing reactions. I can't think of anything more important in our business than to be able to read and manage reactions. It's literally what we do for a living. Study psychology, and the first psychology you got to study and master is yourself. Self-awareness is everything. The next one is predictable. The reason to master a process is so from your side of the desk, keyboard, phone, you're more predictable, so you kind of know where you're going to go with things when certain problems arise. If you're not predictable, we know the client's not going to be. You're both lost. Complete chaos cannot be managed very well. Master a process, whatever that is, so things are predictable for you. The next one is patterns. You've got to honestly measure your patterns. For some reason, we might lie to reports to management or CRM or DMS. You're only kidding and lying to yourself. I hope management is using some of these numbers to coach you and not always criticize you. But listen, if you're not honest with your important numbers, and the important things you should track every day, literally in your day planner, is how your attitude was, how much lead gen you did, how many test drives you did, and how many proposals you did. And the more you master everything to do with those 4 areas, the better you do in sales. But patterns and numbers are a lot like a GPS. The benefit over a GPS is it honestly tracks where you are. If you had a dishonest GPS, and it was a pessimistic GPS, and it's always telling you you're a mile further away than you are from where you're supposed to be, you're freaking lost. If you had an optimistic GPS, you're still lost. You're not that close. So the thing with the GPS is it's honest. Can you please honestly measure your important metrics and patterns? Because if you don't, you're not helping yourself, you're not helping management, and you really can't improve unless you honestly measure those numbers. And the last one is probability. The name of the game is improving your odds. It is an odds game. If you do everything in those 4 areas really well, if you really analyze these 6 Ps on a regular basis, your probability is going to go up. If you're off in these areas, your probability is going to go down. So here's the last thing regarding odds. You have to know that some of your best customers sometimes become nightmares if you think they feel that you've taken them for granted or taken advantage of you. That can happen. Sometimes your most difficult customers become your best friends if you suddenly sort of wake them up and earn the respect that they weren't giving you. Nice people have bad days. Bad people have good days. Just because somebody has a driver's license doesn't mean they're sane. You're going to actually regret selling 1 or 2 cars this year because some people, as I say, are knucking futs. They're just not quite all there. They're not taking their medication on time. I don't know what's going on. And sometimes, you know what? You just sell a car, you get somebody that just buys from you in 5 minutes because they came in already predetermined and determined to buy a car today from somebody. So probability. So please look at your health, wealth, happiness, and sales. Analyze your principles, your practices, your psychology, your patterns, how predictable your process is, how well you've mastered it, and this is going to all lead to probability. But you've got to start really working on it. And as I think Jim Rohn said, great trainer, also another master that passed away, you got to work harder on yourself than you do in your business, and stop hoping for your life and sales to get easier and start working on you getting better. I'm Dwayne Marino. Here's your tip for the day while I drive along, and there's my remote. See you later, folks. We'll see you around. Next tip. So long. Have a great weekend.